Now some of you might ask actually, well Lee, if she's keeps coming down and not buying a car, then why just tell her to leave, you know, why deal with her? Well, one good reason, she brings her son with her, and her son is built like a brick house. This video is sponsored by Vehicle Score. Vehicle Score is a free vehicle checking service which you can visit by going to vehiclescore.co.uk. Simply type in a registration number and you will get a unique score to your vehicle. You can compare your score to the average in Vehicle Score's database. It's full of free useful information such as a mileage tracker history. It gives you a comprehensive breakdown of your MOT history for things like advisories and also wear and tear items. It gives you performance data, an estimated valuation, an estimated lifespan of the vehicle compared to others like it. It's full of free useful information. Also as well, they also have their 2 new features, including the new car insurance tip section to help you save money on your next car insurance quote, and their new AI mechanic, which will help you if you have any issues with a car, trying to diagnose any faults or common issues you might be having with a particular vehicle. But it doesn't end there, because Vehicle Score also offer their paid checks. These checks start from less than a cup of coffee and will check to see things like if your vehicle has ever been involved in an accident, whether it's been written off by an insurance company to a Category N or a Category S. Maybe it's an unrecorded write-off, so it's gone for a salvage auction and you weren't aware of it. It'll also check to see if your vehicle's ever been imported or exported, ever been used as a taxi, has outstanding finance, and all this information is assured with their £10,000 data guarantee. The paid checks are some of the most comprehensive priced out there, and it gets better because you guys get a discount. Simply use the promo code CARUK20 to get 20% off any of those paid checks. But remember guys, the basic service is completely free and it's constantly evolving. So make sure you download the Vehicle Score app, get yourself over to vehiclescore.co.uk and give them a try. Morning all, welcome back to the channel. It is an absolutely miserable day here at the car pitch. We'll just show you what's going on. As we can see, rain is upon us. It's been bright last few days, and now it's absolutely chucking it down on a Saturday. Not great, because Saturday's usually your best day for selling, and it's planned to be like this now pretty much all day until the the England game's on later. It's supposed to stop then, but not much good at 5 o'clock because we're shut. But anyway, I don't think we're going to sell many cars today. I say we've done an update recently, so I'm not going to bore you going around the pitch at the moment because nothing's really changed since then. Although I do need to go pick some cars up, so we'll go pick some cars up in a minute. We'll have a bit of a chat as well while we're doing that. I'll show you some things I've been buying as well from Central Car Auctions, somewhere new I've been trying out. I'm going to go down there at some point and show you how that operation works. It's quite interesting, a little bit of a different type of auction. It's a little bit of a hybrid setup. Well, I'll cover that in another video. Anyway, never mind. Let me get out of this rain. Hope the shutter's up. What else has been happening over the last few days? Well, to be honest, not much. We've had a decent week. We've been selling quite a few, which I've mentioned in the last video. Nothing much has changed since then, to be honest. We've had a few test drives. Little blue C-Max, got someone on that, so we might have a... well, I think we've got another test drive on it today. He's bringing his wife back now, the decision maker. Had a few inquiries on some other bits, so I was hoping today it wouldn't rain because we could do with maybe just one more sale that will just top off the start of the month nicely. And then we can crack on next week with a bit of restocking, because we've got quite a lot actually, but just not on site. Yeah, we can get restocked next week and go again and get those numbers up. I like to try and sell, always try and target about 15 a month, 15 cars. Now, as a rule of thumb, I like to say, you're stocking 15 cars a month on your pitch at any one time, you want to be selling 15. Now, we can stock more than that. We could potentially stock 30 or so on here, but because we have so many in the background we're working on, you're restricted, and also you're going to get so many done, so we can't get up to the numbers. We could probably get up to 20 if we pushed hard and we had a bit of a quiet spell, but I don't think we'd ever get past that because we're always sort of selling 3 or 4 a week, or you might have a dry week when you sell 1, and then the next week you can sell 6. So roughly 3 or 4 a week, and it does us quite well. So you only do so much. Anyway, that's what we're going to be hoping for in July, get another 15 cars in, because the summer is quite difficult. Kids are off, 6 weeks holidays, does go quite dry. But then end of August it really picks up, and yeah, we've got a good few months until you get to about Christmas when it does usually dry off a little bit. Anyway, let me get this shutter open. Right, shutter's open. So we'll see what happens today. I have got a car going out. We've got the 207 going out, the little automatic one. I mentioned this in the last video. I think that's going out today, so that's give us something to do. And the sun is trying to poke its way through the clouds, so maybe we might get a layoff in the rain. If we get a bit of a layoff, we will get people walking on, because Saturdays are usually brilliant for us. They say Friday, Saturday, and surprisingly Mondays. Mondays can be really good. You can sell just as much on a Monday as you can on a Saturday.
people usually come back, make decisions, or they've had enough. They've been trying to find stuff over the weekend and not got anywhere. So you'd be amazed how good a Monday can be on the sales front. So we've got to get the Peugeot out today. But other than that, really, on the sales front, stuff we've sold imminently going out. Obviously, this Kia, which I mentioned in the last video, that's going to be going out probably Monday. We're going to get that MOT'd. Just put a new battery on that one because that was basically just died on us on the ramp. In fairness, I probably left it with ignition on, but it's a very old battery, and we don't mess about with stuff like that. If it looks old, just change the damn thing, because there is nothing worse when you send a car out and then 2 weeks later the battery dies on you, because the customer rings up and you can. Some people will argue, oh well, batteries aren't covered. Just change the sodding battery. You're not going to penny pinch on a battery, particularly when you can pick them up for like £40 with a 2-year warranty. There's just no point messing about. So we'll shove that on last night. We get that off on Monday, and I think that's pretty much it on the sales side of it. We've got the Sportage, which I'm working on, but that's miles away yet. But I've got someone lined up for that. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. We're getting there to the point now where we do need to get some more sales on the board. Right, well, I was about to nip to the paint shop. Rain's just stopped, and as soon as the rain stopped, would you believe it, we've had a customer on. So my colleague's just gone out on a test drive on the Mocha. So we'll see how that goes. I'm not confident, to be honest with you. Not because of the car, there's nothing wrong with the car, just the customer. She's probably test drove about 4 cars since we've been here, and she never buys one. She's like basically just sort of coming back part of the family, really. And we have to sort of entertain these people. It's a bit of a pain, really, because the reality is she's not going to buy that car. I'll bet my house on it she ain't buying that car. But anyway, in the meantime, whilst I'm waiting for my colleague to come back, I'll get the bike ready. We'll shoot up to the paint shop and we'll grab a nice, I think a Chevrolet Cruze that I've got ready, which I'll talk to you about. It's quite an interesting car for what they are, a little cheapy, but there we go. Just checking to see if the sandwich shop's open as well, which it is, so I might get myself a bacon sandwich while I'm waiting. And then we'll fire up the old electric bike, the old DYU, and we'll get ourselves up to the paint and get me a little Chevy Cruze. Now better than riding a bike in the rain, eh? Let's get ourselves off to the paint shop. Right, here it is. Got the old Chevy back, little Chevrolet Cruze. These are good sellers, actually, surprisingly. 1.6 petrol. These are basically Vauxhall Astra J's, as I've mentioned before, but this is a bit more simplistic. I only buy the 1.6 petrols. Really, I'm saying I have had the odd 1.8, but they are really difficult things to shift. The 1.8 because it's dead data tax, and there isn't really much difference between the 1.6 and the 1.8 performance-wise. It's just the 1.8's drink fuel and there was data tax, so you're better off with the 1.6. Anyway, this had a horrible ding in this door and sill here, which unfortunately I haven't got any pictures of it beforehand. If I have, I'll put them up, but I don't think I have. But anyway, it's quite nasty. Anyway, come up lovely now. Bit of dealer's mist on it as well because it's raining, so that's improved it. But it's a cracking paint match anyway, so pleased with that one. Yeah, he wants the wheels refurbing. He definitely wants an exhaust, as you'll hear in a sec. It wasn't a dear car, it was about 500 quid. And a bit of fees on, so what, about 580, something like that out the door. We bought from Central, so cheap old car. Done 95,000 miles. Want to valet, obviously, but it isn't too bad. So, you know, and my theory is, the time you've shoved an exhaust on it, a bit of paint on it, usual stuff that goes wrong on these, rock cover gaskets leak, thermostat housings, usual sort of Astra J problems you get. I would see this probably owing £1,000 done, and for a 60 plate car, owing 1,000 quid with some nice new wheels on it, a bit nice paint and all serviced up. That's easily for me a 22, 23.95 car, and they just sell well. They look good value. Right, let's get back to the pitch. We'll see if that Mocha sale has come through, which I very much doubt, because obviously we know about the lady and what she's like. She never seems to buy a car off us. And then you might ask, now some of you might ask actually, well Lee, if she's keeps coming down and not buying a car, then why just tell her to leave? You know, why deal with her? Well, one good reason, she brings her son with her,
and his son is built like a brick shithouse. Honestly, he makes 4 look small, that lad. So we'll just appease him at the moment, because I don't dare tell him to basically shoo off, and you waste of time. But then again, who knows, maybe she's just waiting for that right car to come in. But you know, when you get a feeling on a customer and you just think, oh, you're just a tyre kicker, you're wasting the time, you don't actually know what you want. And when we're now sort of 8 months down the line and she still hasn't bought a car off us, yeah, it's not great, is it? Now, apologies about the background noise of the exhaust. It's blowing like hell from the flexi pipe, as I mentioned earlier. Now, that's also thrown the engine light on as well. The car drives fine, but if I've scanned it, it's got an issue with a lambda sensor, rear one, which is obvious because obviously with the flow, with the exhaust actual flexi brake broken, it's obviously getting too much oxygen in and it messes up all the sensors. So we're just going to change the exhaust flexi. That will solve the noise, obviously, and the blowing, and obviously we'll change the sensor, the rear lambda sensor, which are dead common on Astra J's, which is what this is based on, a Vauxhall Astra. This engine basically going wrong anyway, so we just change them. It won't work properly now anyway if we tried to just reset it, just put a new one in and be done with it. But other than that, really, other few bits he wants, like a rock cover gaskets, thermostat housings, usual sort of Vauxhall stuff, we'll just do all them, do them wheels on it. We've done the paint now. It's going to stack up to hopefully be a nice little profitable car. And the good news is they're always well spec, these Chevys, for what they are, and I quite like them. I think they're more attractive than the Astra, particularly the early Astra J's. So the first few years before they facelifted them, they just seemed a bit more attractive car. Whether this is a saloon might have a bit of a downer on that, I don't know. Saloons are not really popular anymore in the UK, to be honest, unless you're buying a Passat. That's probably the only saloon I can think of where people still like, or people like them. But there we go, we'll try. It's cheap enough, there's money in it, it's a good practical car, and they're easy to work on, to be honest with you. In my view, I don't think they give too many issues, these Astra J's and Chevrolets, once you sort of get to grips with the common faults with them. Right, we're here now, we're back in the unit, so we'll see if the Mocha has sold. It's not back in position, it's by the doorway here, but she looks promising. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe the woman who's been visiting us for the last 9 months and can't make her mind up has finally made her mind up on my Mocha. Let's find out. Right, finally got the bacon sandwich, well, bacon sausage actually. Treat myself, you know what I mean. So, you've all been waiting for, did she buy that Mocha? No. She didn't buy it. She says she's coming back on Monday to put a deposit on it, which she may or may not do. We'll see on Monday. I'll let you know in another video if she did buy that Mocha. Yeah, I'd be surprised if she comes back Monday, because if actually lives about 10 doors down, so I don't see why she needs to come back Monday to get the deposit for it. But anyway, there you go. Colleague has got a couple more people on the pitch though, so we've got some irons in the fire there, and it's not raining at the moment, although it looks like it's about to start imminently. So we'll see how we go. We'll check in later on, see if we get any more sales in. This is a real typical day on a Saturday. It's not always that busy on a Saturday, just sort of with the workshop side, it's always quite, dull, to be fair. We usually have a mechanic in sort of every other week. So yeah, there's not much going on today because I've got the mechanic off. Valeter's off as well. He's off next week as well, so that's going to be a bit of a tough one on me, because I'm going to have to do a bit of valeting and sending some valets out. So Saturdays really aren't that busy on that in the workshop side. It's more just on the pitch. You get people come in, everyone's off. It's always a good day on a Saturday. Anyway, I'm going to get myself tucked into this sandwich, and we'll catch up with you shortly and see how the day is progressing. Right, a little bit of a progress update. It's now midday. Good news, we've sold a car. We've sold the C-Max. We had a guy on who's actually came to view it yesterday. Now he's brought his partner back, and they've been out in it and had a look round it, etc. And yep, they've done a deal on it. So the old blue C-Max over here is now sold, which is good news. Cheap car really for what it is. Chap it was a scriber, did try his best to get a little bit of cash off, but stand the ground with that because we haven't got much stuff under $2,000, and we've done quite a bit to that. It's had a new clutch in it, we got sort of binnacle out on it, we're going to service it, so we don't really giving stuff away like that, and to be honest, there's not loads in that car anyway, and obviously you've got to give a warranty as well. So, but anyway, it's a good car, it drives well, it's just a little cheapy, bread and butter stuff. We've had loads of interest on it. I'm quite surprised it's actually been on sale for as long as it has. It's been on sale for about a fortnight. Like I said, we've had about 5 people on it, but he was the first person that actually test drove it. Everyone else was sort of just tyre kicking and trying to buy it for like 1,500 quid, and you can't buy stuff like that from dealers anymore. Not stuff that's actually been checked over properly and you're putting clutches in and stuff like that. I mean, it's just unheard of, that sort of stuff these days. Most dealers aren't going to be bothered doing stuff like that. Although for some reason I got, what's that lad doing? Young lad over there,
just climbing on my railings. He's just like, yeah, just climb on the railings, mate. Fucking youth today. So really, that's good news. We've got a sale under the belt. We can try and get another one. That'll be really good, decent. Like I said, we've got the Mocha. Well, I don't think she's coming back on Monday. Well, I can't see that happening, to be honest. But that would start the week off nice if that did happen. We've also actually the chap who bought the C-Max is his wife. He's actually after a cheap car. He's having a bit of a few issues with his little Mini at the moment, and he was interested in the Clio. Here, this Clio, look cheapy, little 1.2 thing we've had in. We mentioned briefly on the channel before. As he was about to go on a test drive on the car, I did tell him obviously we're going to put a brand new clutch in that. It's not slipping or anything, but it is very high and it's got 70,000 miles on it, so it's probably original. But I can tell it's just a bit too high for where it should be. I said, look, go and drive it, see what you think. But obviously we are going to put a new clutch in as well, and obviously we do all the usual stuff. We service it, it's had new tyres on it, all the usual stuff that we do. We're about to go out, and obviously it's raining. And I've remembered that the car hasn't got any working wipers. The motor is knackered on it. So I had to say, sorry, come back on in the day in the week and you can have a test drive then. Apologies, I completely forgot about that one. And then just as he walked out the gate, the postman turned up with the wiper motor, just arrived. So we're going to put that on. Might have a go putting it on later on. If not, we'll do that on Monday. Anyway, so far so good. The rain is back in full swing, so that's going to keep them away. But hopefully if we can just give us a little bit another hour, maybe another hour at some point this afternoon, we might get another person on or some more people on and hopefully get another sale. See how we go. Anyway, catch up with you in a few moments. Oh, right, end of the day. Sum up. How many cars did we sell in the end? One, just the one. Nothing else. It was pretty rubbish, to be fair. Rain. We did have a little bit of break in the cloud and we had a few more people on. Got a few irons in the fire. I think we got a chap coming back to look at a 107 with his daughter on Monday, which would be good. And also a couple of people looking at little cheap Clio we got in as well, which you will do at $16.95. But there we go. And say we got the guy who actually looked at it originally. We couldn't take out because of the wipers. So we're going to have to get that sorted anyway. But there we go. It's a quiet day. Not much really else has happened other than a few people come on. We did have a guy come on, actually, a warranty claim, and talk to you about that briefly. So do you remember the Mariva, not the Mariva B, before people go, I told you to be back, that Mariva, man, I told you. We'll get on to him in a minute. Mariva A, so the black one, we mentioned it only a few days ago on the channel. We did a video on it, one with the oil leak, very cheap car, fixed it up, spent a little bit of money on it, got the car out, and it's been fine for the last few days. The guy who's just popped in, he just said, I've had the, he doesn't speak very good English, he's Polish, and he says, I basically, from what I can gather, he's having an issue with his steering, so it's got an EPS light come on, electronic power steering light. Now the steering's fine on it at the moment, and light only came on briefly, he said, and it went off, and it's been fine since. He's done a couple of 100 miles in the car, it's happened once. Now, I'm not just suggesting we just push him off and say, don't worry about it, because my experience on those Marivas, if he does it once, it'll do it again. And usually it'll start doing it more often. So we'll need to nip that in the bud. So basically told him, look, if it gets worse, let me know, but we need to get it in and we'll get a new steering motor or get it reconditioned. You can put second-hand ones on, but to be honest with you, half the time they're just as bad as the ones you take off. So I'd rather just bite the bullet and put a recon one on. There's plenty of profit in that car, so I don't mind splashing out on one of those. It solves the problem. We know it's a common fault on them, and like I said, you get a lifetime warranty of it, so what's not worth messing about. So we're going to get him back in, but unfortunately he's going off for a week, so that's sort of scuppered that. But I have told him, look, bring it back and we'll sort it. Anyway, that's by the by. The car can stomach that. That's not too much to worry about. But it has put a bit of a downer on the day, so we'll see how we get on later on with the football. Might cheer me up. Quickly, a couple of other things as well to mention. I've been asked about over the last few days. People have been sending me messages and comments and messages about them as well on the email. First one about the Mariva, the other Mariva. This is the man who bought the Mariva, who kicked off. We had to get the police, get him removed. The old boy come back and then bought the car. Now, a lot of people were suggesting that obviously that he's only bought the car because he wants to go through the deal and he might then reject it, which could very well be the case. It's been over a week now and we've had no reply from him. So he's not even been in contact. So I don't think that's the case, although I could understand why people might think that, because you have certain rights to reject under 30 days, which he could potentially try to manipulate to get his money back. So I can understand where people are coming from. I just think he had a change of heart and decided in the end of the day he wasn't going to get a car anywhere else around locally. There's very little places that sell cheapy cars, and it had a lot of work done to it.
So there we go. We'll see. I mean, that could come back and bite me. I'm a big enough chap to worry about that. If it does, obviously we'll have to address it, fix it, sort it, or if obviously his intention is just to try and get his money back and there is issues, and obviously we'll have to give his money back. I don't think we'll see that car any faults coming back because it's actually a really good car. We prepped it really well. So, but we'll see. I mean, I understand where you're coming from. Some people think I'm a bit mad carrying on with this customer. Effectively, my colleague dealt with him anyway, and he was the one who sort of made the final call. And I said, we'll go with your decision. I'm the one who obviously takes the brunt of it if it goes wrong financially, but we'll see. Now, the other thing I kept getting asked about, which I made a very sort of loose comment about, was in my last video at the start, I mentioned about I would come across a dead body while I was away on my holidays. I'll briefly explain this, although it's a very sad story, so I'm not trying to make fun of it or anything like that. And I was away in Mallorca with a friend of mine. We went just for a few days away and have a few drinks and watched the football mainly, just to get away. We wanted to go to Germany, but we couldn't go there. It was way too expensive to go. It was cheaper to go to Spain. But there you go. Anyway, the point being, we went down for breakfast one morning. There's not much to this story, to be honest with you. We went round a corner. It was about 8 o'clock in the morning. We were staying in a place called Palma Nova, and we saw a copper up the side of the road. He was telling the cars to go another way, but wasn't stopping members of the public. We just walked around the corner, go down to a restaurant. We're going to go for breakfast, and then there's a man dead in the road. And that's pretty much it, to be honest with you. Now, I have to say, the way it's been dealt with by the police and the press has been frankly awful. First of all, the press got it all wrong. They were reporting it and putting a headline as they still are actually saying man died in Magaluf, and it's a lot of rubbish. He was nowhere near Magaluf. He was about 3 miles away from there. So you say that's just false news, fake news. They always seem to do to get headlines, and like I said, typical sort of press trick. Also, the way the police dealt with the Spanish police, they said he was there for 4 hours. That poor chap. I have to say they dealt with it really poorly. I think it made the assumption the police did, because literally we could just walk through the crime scene. No one was remotely interested. They were more interested in the cars not coming down. They weren't interested in the members of the public walking past. And this poor chap was obviously just lying in the road, dead. We happened to go past him. And obviously we went down a side street and got away. But the police weren't particularly bothered. They were just standing around, just not interested. They probably got that assumption that, it's just a dead tourist, Brit tourist. He was actually starting to be Irish, but not by the by. And it was awful the way they dealt with it. There was no screens up. It was just a horrible situation. The poor chap, and he seemed to have backfired on the Spanish police as well, because I think they had made that assumption, which to me it looked like they did. It was just maybe just drunk, or he's had an accident or a heart attack or something. It seems to be the case from what I've been reading the last few days. Keep an eye on the story that this poor lad looks like he may have been run over or attacked or something. So the police on the following day, were going around chasing everyone and starting getting statements, and all of a sudden they realised that they've made a big balls up, and they've jumped to the wrong conclusion. Anyway, it's a sad bit of events, not something I was trying to make fun of, because some people have said it was maybe being a bit light-hearted with it. It wasn't. It was just the case of it's just not something you expect to see on your holidays. But there you go. Anyway, I hope they get to the bottom of that. So a bit of a sombre ending, isn't it? Anyway, moving back onto cars, let's see what next week brings. I will catch up with you guys very soon. I am back at the auctions, and I will promise you I will be doing some filming this week at the auctions. Proper full-length episodes. I'm going to go to at least 2 auctions. I might get a chance to go to a third one. Hopefully we can do some filming there as well. That's a new auction I'm going to be going to and do some filming there. Anyway, I will promise to get some more auction videos out, because I know you guys like that content, and obviously I'll be putting out content anyway. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you haven't done so, please like and subscribe. Lots of you watch these videos, but not many of you actually subscribe to it, although you keep coming back and watching them. So do me a favour, like and subscribe. It helps me out immensely, so I do appreciate it. Thanks again, guys, and I'll see you all in the next one.